Hello, welcome to the Tilted Coaching Podcast. Today I have Jenny Fitzpatrick with me. Hi Jenny, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. Jenny, will you introduce yourself for anybody listening? Because you'll do a much better job than I would.
Perfect. So I'm Jenny Fitzpatrick. I am from Can Beauty in Dublin, and I'm one of the co-owners of Can Beauty.
Can you tell them the name of the other cam owner? Because I think it's really funny.
So the other cam owner is also Jenny. So she's Jenny Faison. So we're two Jenny Fs. So we're trying to differentiate ourselves. So I'm generally Jen, and she's Jenny when we're talking about ourselves. But
that's brilliant.
Jenny.
Yeah, a dyslexic's nightmare. So, Jenny, will you tell me a little bit, because I know we've had multiple conversations about different topics that we could discuss. So will you tell me a little bit about the topic you'd like us to discuss today? And that's the starting one that we'll begin with.
Perfect. So I think a really important topic at the moment is self-care at home, and especially for people who are working at their kitchen table or a desk at home, haven't got the correct they haven't got the correct chairs, they haven't got the correct computer, they can't get an assessment on how their height of the table is. So it's really, that's the main thing I want to kind of talk about today, is how people can help themselves in that area.
Oh, excellent. It's actually a nightmare because I know where I'm living, none of the chairs were built for me to be in all day long. They were built for me to sit down for an hour, either to eat something or to type something up. But actually, most people don't actually have the right office chairs. So what are the kind of impacts of the chair first, of not having the right chairs? What does that look like?
Well, one, if you're sitting on a chair that's really, really hard, it's going to be very sore on your muscles in your bum and in your lower back. So it can set off lower back pain, sciatic pain, and then kind of getting dead legs and really kind of spasms and stuff in your legs as well. So that's kind of a knock-on effect with that. And if you also don't have the chair, you can stoop over. So then it's giving a curvature in your spine. You're having an effect on your neck. It's having an effect on your shoulders. So having the wrong chair is huge, and it impacts nearly every part of your body. But also if your chair is too low compared to your table, you're having to elevate your shoulders a bit more, and that's going to be having a really big impact then on your arms, and then even getting a bit of repetitive strain in your forearms as well, and in your hands, because you aren't in your correct posture. So it's huge. It's really, really a really big thing. And the best way of kind of trying to help that at home is movement, and getting up from the chair and moving away from the chair every 20 minutes to half an hour.
Wow, every 20 minutes to half an hour?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's literally getting up in a work day. We're talking a minimum of kind of 16 times.
Yep.
Oh, wow. Okay, definitely not doing that.
Yeah, but even if it's just to get up and stretch out your arms, stretch out your back, and then sit back down again. It doesn't have to be like you have to do a big yoga session in between. It's literally just getting your body to move and trying to get it into a position that's comfortable again. And then, because you're within 5 minutes, you're going to go back into this stooped over position. You are like, as much as you try and have really good posture, and some people are amazing for really being very aware of the posture, but most people will be aware for a few minutes and then it goes out the window. You get into like a report or an email or something, and you're coming into the computer, like. So it's really, really important. Movement is so important.
Okay, and I suppose at the moment, especially in Ireland, it's not like we can go and get massages. So I think a lot of people use massages to rectify kind of like ongoing repetitive movements, such as sitting at a desk, which is usually set up better than it is at home. So not being able to access the massages, is that likely to result in people actually ending up with more injuries after this period of time?
Absolutely, and more pain. A lot of it, with our bodies, when you start kind of getting pain in your body, after a while your body starts to accept that as the new normal. So then you don't experience the pain, but the damage or the injury is there. So that's something that you might find 2 or 3 weeks in, your neck is really sore, your shoulders really sore, and then you go, your shoulders aren't sore anymore. And it's just because your nervous system and your body has just gone, this is our new normal, we're going to accept this is the way it's going to be, and your muscles are held in contraction, and that's just the new normal. So definitely you will see that people will kind of just become more accustomed to the pain, but they will definitely have more shoulder tension, neck tension, lower back pain, and maybe more sciatic pain, which doesn't really tend to ease off unless it's worked on. That's probably one of the major ones. But definitely people will be coming in and they'll need a good a good bashing.
I'll be in that list anyway, because when you started mentioning the dead legs, I'm like, oh my God, they're all the symptoms I'm having already. And we're only a couple of weeks into this. What are the other kind of things that are like just based from people working at home that are going to become challenging or that they need to bring awareness to?
So their laptop. So most people are home at a laptop. They don't have a proper computer with a keyboard. So when their laptop, like some of them are quite small, and you can't look straight on. You have to look down. So that is having a huge impact, headache-wise, TMJ, all into.
Sorry, I'm going to interrupt you. What's TMJ?
So it's a joint in your jaw. So it's when you clench your jaw, and it can have a huge impact into the head and into the neck. So that's a really, like, when you're bringing your neck forward, you're kind of getting that Facebook F of the person being hunched over. If you can get your laptop and put even a book underneath it, or if you can, my husband is actually working from home, and he's after getting one of our small, we had a small telly, and he's after hooking the laptop up to the telly so that he can look at the telly, type on his keyboard of his laptop, but he's looking at the telly so that he's not having to look down all the time, and that's made a huge impact on his neck and the pain. His the bone at the back around there, the muscles on the occipital ridge, they get really, really sore.
Oh wow,
so
that's actually really clever.
Yeah, and like I think he had the connection already, but you can pick them up anywhere, and like people, the supports that are out there from tech companies or like people who sell, say, curries, who sell like they will help. Do you know what I mean? They're there to sell their product, but they're obviously want to do it at an advantage to you. So yeah, like reach out to these people because it'll really help you get the best stuff for you. Like,
excellent. And then what's your so a lot of us are sitting. What's the situation with standing and working standing? Have you, like, would that be better for some of us? What's your sense of that kind of changing?
Like it really depends. Like some people will sit on a yoga ball, which can be quite good because you can have full movement of your hips. But then it's making sure that the desk or your whatever table you're using is at about an okay height. If you are standing, like, you still need to move, because if you're standing still, you're going to be standing on one leg, and then you're going to stand on the other leg, and just to take off the pressure on that side. So you're just going to keep alternating from one side to the other. And then what happens is we all have a good leg, we all have a good side, so it's usually your dominant side. You tend to stand on that side a lot more, which then is going to be kind of locking the hip, which is then going to have impact on the muscles in and around the hip joint, coming from the stomach. So they're all the hip flexor muscles, and they tend to tighten. So then you kind of are a little bit off kilter in your hips. So the same thing again is to move, walk. Do you know what I mean? Stretch out your legs. If you're going to, like, it probably will be better to do maybe a little bit of standing and a little bit of sitting, but just to spice things up a little bit. But whatever way you're going to do it, you have to move. So even to be doing a few little stretches when you're standing or sitting, of your neck, your shoulders, and just stretching out the legs, it makes such a difference.
Okay. And then in terms of, so that's kind of like anyone working at the desk. Is there anything else that you've been alert to from that kind of massage point of view, from that muscle point of view, that might be getting in people's way that they're not even aware of? Like I didn't realize sitting on a hard seat had that impact. Is there anything else that you've been aware of, thinking if people only knew the impact of this?
So like with the desk is just the biggest thing, really. Like some people only have like iPads or whatever, and they're hunched up in the bed and they're trying to do the work. Do you know what I mean? So it's just having to look at your posture, checking in, what way are you sitting, kind of feeling, okay, where is uncomfortable? Okay, if that's uncomfortable, maybe should I put a cushion on that chair to make it a little bit softer? Don't put too many cushions, because then you're going to be off a little bit. Don't have anything in your pockets, like a wallet or anything, because that's going to put your hips off. Like, make sure that you are trying to keep your legs on the ground, or if you're kind of elevating them slightly with a little step or something, that they're up, but that they're comfortable. Don't be crossing your legs. Don't put your leg up underneath your bum. A lot of people do that, like, but like, kind of puts it off like this. So like your whole body is off. Yeah, but
my legs are crossed. I'm like, if I uncross them, will she notice?
But that's like, people just they get into the zone, and then they just totally switch off from what's going on, and that's the new normal. And even like, what way are you holding your mouth? Are you clenching it really, really tightly? Are you are you drinking enough water? Like, are you finding that yourself is dehydrated? Because a lot of people as well who are at home are working much longer hours than they would normally do when they're in the office. They're not taking lunch breaks. They're taking 15 minutes and they're not drinking water. They're like, and if the day has gone on and it's like 7 or 8 o'clock when you're finishing work and you don't want to go out for a walk, you're not getting that fresh air. And some places, some people might be in an apartment that don't have natural light in the room that they're working in, or if they're in the attic and they don't have, do you know what I mean? So making sure that they have a little bit of natural daylight as well, because that really helps the mood. And which, when you're in good mood, you tend to be a bit more checking in on yourself and feeling better in yourself as well. But water is huge. And like, if you have, when you're in work, you tend to have a bottle. People are really good at drinking water when they're in work. They have a bottle and they might have it marked out, or they'll go to the machine because it's kind of a social thing to do. And when you're home, you don't do it. So that's another really important thing, because you need to have water and the oxygen that comes in from the water to help your muscles to replenish and to be working efficiently.
Oh, brilliant. Do you know, it's funny what you're saying about the water, because that's a big piece. Like at work, it's a social thing, and also it's triggered by others. So you see everyone else and you're like, oh, I must get my water bottle. But at home, it's just you. Like, and maybe your partner's there, or maybe someone else, you know, is in the house, but it doesn't have the same positive social impacts that you'd have in a work environment. So Jenny, before we finish, what are the 3 things that you think people need to be most aware of in an effort to really take care of their bodies between here and the foreseeable future, like here and like getting to a new normal? What would you consider important?
One thing is movement. Getting up off the desk, move away from your desk for a couple of minutes whenever you can, and just trying to loosen out and check in on your body. Increase your water intake, whether it's just glasses of water if you don't really like water, that even if you flavour it with something, or if you have a herbal tea. Herbal teas are brilliant and a really, really good way of getting in your water intake. And if you have any problems, get in touch with somebody that you know, or somebody who like does a massage for you, or your therapist or whatever. Like, get into and they can give you tips on how to stretch out those particular muscles that are sore, or give you tips like using a tennis ball and putting it in a sock and putting it in so you can rub it in and try and knead out those tension points. Like, there's so many little tricks and tips that you can do, and like, whatever you're feeling, nearly everybody else is feeling it as well. It's a knock-on effect. So just make sure you check in on yourself, you move away from the desk and stretch, and that you really do increase your water intake.
Oh, that's fantastic. Jenny, I hadn't even thought about, so in my head, I thought, oh, well, the person who does the massage can't, and you know, like, it's you, we would go to for massages. And I say we because I avoid massages because they hurt. Which I'll be addressing after this. I've realized the value of them. But I hadn't even thought that the fact that actually your massage therapist could just tell you how to support yourself in the interim before you can get back to them. Okay.
But your massage therapist knows your body. Do you know what I mean? They know your points. They know what they have to work on a regular basis when you come in. And it's the repetitive stuff from your job. Your job is so repetitive, and you do the same things day in, day out. You cross them legs, you put that foot underneath your bum, you hunch over, you don't move, and you do the same thing every day. So we know your body. So we will be the best people to say, okay, this is what you need to do for your neck issue, because your neck is always really tight, or this is what you do for your shoulders and stretching. We can send you some stretches to do. We'll tell you about like tennis ball or foam rollers and things like that you can use to help your body.
Oh, that's brilliant. I think that's a great idea. And I think like the water is so easy to do, and the type of movement you're discussing is so easy to do. And then if someone is really struggling, instead of sitting there in pain or just kind of resigned to it, just to reach out to someone who knows their body, who, like a professional who they've been working with, and ask for support in terms of like self-support, that would be helpful. And that's really, really helpful, especially because people, and I'm talking to quite a few people at the moment, they're feeling quite stuck. Like I have a back issue, and I just feel like I have to suck it up until this is over, because I didn't do the things I needed to before this happened. And it's now like, just got to get to the other side of it before I can address it. But I hadn't even considered, actually, there's things I could do. I could reach out and get support and actually do things that are specific to me.
Absolutely.
I think that's really helpful.
Well, we'd be delighted. Like, I'd love to be able to help any of my clients. Do you know, that's that would give me so much joy, and I'd be so happy to be able to go, okay, this would keep you over in the interim, and this will keep you kind of going. Do you know, like, even if you have a bath at home, having an Epsom salt bath is amazing. It raises your magnesium levels in your body. It helps detoxify the body. It helps to relax your muscles. Like, that's huge. And like, your lower half of your body obviously benefits more because that's in the water for long. But if you could scooch down and get the shoulders in, it's amazing. It really, really, really helps. But there's so many little things that we have cooped away in our brains that we can help and really help somebody who's struggling with.
That's excellent. And it's kind of also, I'm thinking it'll make your job easier, because if somebody's got 2 months of stored up tension, like, you're gonna like, and it's gonna take longer to work it out if there isn't preventative pieces, which is more painful and more expensive long term. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much. I really appreciate this. I'm gonna drag you on another day for a talk around the skin care stuff, because I know I talked to you on an Instagram live and it was so helpful. Yeah, but for now, I'm going to say thanks a million, and to mind yourself and to stay safe.
Yeah, you too. Thanks a million for having me.
Take care. Bye-bye.